I'm fine. How are you?
Another day, putting up with it. So I want to get right into it. Tell me who you are and what was your former occupation?
Well, my name is Frank Tepper, and I was a Philadelphia police officer for 17 years.
Yeah. Okay. And what are you currently serving time for?
Currently serving time for first-degree murder.
Okay. So I just got a few questions I want to ask you. First and foremost, how do you feel about the district attorney's office under Seth Williams?
Well, I think it was pretty corrupt. They have a lot to be desired with their investigating and the way they charged.
Okay. Let me ask you this. During your time in the academy, the police academy, how were you trained in regards to stopping criminals or suspected
This is a call from
Pennsylvania State Correctional Institution, Counchdale.
This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
In what capacity? Just use of force, or?
Yeah, use of force. There's a lot of shootings going on with cops and a lot of corruption going on. How were you trained to stop criminals? Like, say for instance, you saw me commit the crime and I attempted to run away. What were you trained to do?
Well, first you chase them down, you put the information over the radio and try to subdue the suspect.
Okay. So if you thought that a person had a weapon or something that looked like a weapon, how were you trained to shoot them?
Well, to use deadly force, you're trained to shoot center mass, to incapacitate. That's the way we're trained.
Not a leg shot, not an arm shot. You're trained to shoot basically upside.
Yes, center mass. Whatever is visible, that's you shoot center mass of that object or that target.
Dang.
There's no warning shots. If you fire a warning shot, you're fired, and you're not trained to shoot in the arms or the legs or any extremities.
So for lack of better words, you basically trained to be a fucking assassin.
Well, the word they use is incapacitate the threat.
God damn. All right. So let me ask you this: in terms of testifying, explain to me how you were trained to testify in open court as a police officer.
Well, to answer truthfully and answer the question that's asked, and give no further information than what is exactly asked. Don't offer any information.
This is a call from
Pennsylvania State Correctional Institution, Counchdale.
This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
So even if you felt like something was wrong, even if you wanted to address something, you're telling me that you were trained to do the opposite?
Well, if there's something wrong, that's something you're supposed to bring up with the DA before you testify. If you feel there's something wrong, that's not something you do in open court.
Hey, so pretty much your testimony is pretty much recorded, so to speak, for lack of a better word.
Well, you state the facts as they are. You don't elaborate. You don't give any summations or beliefs or just what you know to be. And that's the extent of your testimony.
Yeah, that's coached. That's pretty much coached.
Well, the facts are the facts as they are presented. You're not coached. It's what you wrote in your report. You just testify to that.
Okay. Well, in terms of your case, explain how your case actually happened and how you went from a decorated police officer to actually serving a life sentence.
Well, the DA, the original DA in the case wasn't going to charge me initially. And when the public started to march and protest, she decided to put it to a grand jury. And she, in the interim, retired. Seth Williams took office, had a meeting with my assailant's family, and decided to charge me with first-degree murder.
Who charged? What DA charged?
Seth Williams.
So then Abraham decided not to charge you, and when Seth Williams took office, he decided decided to charge
Yes, he removed it from the grand jury and charged me.
Wow. So everything that you knew, I know Seth Williams is the new district attorney, you know, when you were charged, but everything that you know about Seth Williams from, you know, ex-law enforcement agencies or whomever you dealt with, what do they say about this guy?
Well, a lot of people say he's slimy. I had no first-hand knowledge of him. But and from what I've seen, he did some pretty slimy
This is
things.
a call from
Pennsylvania State Correctional Institution, Scottsdale.
This call is subject to recording and monitoring.
Was your victim black, white, Latino? What?
My family was white.
Okay. Well, thank you for doing this interview, and I'm sure we'll have some follow-up questions. I just wanted to touch base on, you know, just the small things. So, I guess we'll do part 2 maybe in the coming weeks or so. But I just want the people to understand that the training of police officers is pretty much turning you on to assassin, so to speak. And then when you actually do your job, like you were trained to do, I guess Seth Williams don't see it that way.
Well, that's correct. And a lot of the facts of the case were never brought out in the court, so the jury never heard any of the facts of my justification for use of force. And that was wrong. That was also the fault of my attorney. He should have brought that forth.
The fact that you were trained to do what you did.
And the situation of why I used the deadly force in the first place. None of that was even brought to court for the jury to consider.
Right now you have a platform to do that. So explain what you mean.
Well, I was acting in my official capacity as a police officer trying to effect an arrest, and when the district attorney charged me, they charged me under Section 505 of the Crimes Code, which is self-defense as an ordinary citizen. When Section 508 offers extra protections for use of force in law enforcement. And had the jury heard any of that stuff, there'd be no way they could have charged me with first-degree murder.
Okay. All right. So in closing, how were you different from Officer Pitts, Detective Pitts, and Nardo, and all those other so-called corrupt officers? How were you any different from them? How should the world view your situation as opposed to theirs?
I believe I was a good cop. I did my job on a daily basis. I never shook anybody down. I never robbed anybody. I never planted evidence on anybody. I never lied about anybody. And I think they're the biggest things of how the system went wrong. The other guys, the way I have read what they did, they lied. They forced statements, and they properly were charged and arrested. They should have been.
So how is it that the FOP stands tall for these guys, but they didn't do that for you?
I have no clue. That I can't understand. There might have been some. I don't know. This guy was an informant for the narcotics organization, section of the department. He got a favorable. I can't answer that. I have no clue.
All right. Well, hopefully in the coming weeks, we'll touch base on more police corruption. We'll touch base on your case and what we can actually do as a community to get a grip on all the corruption in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I look forward to it.
Thank you for talking to me.
Thank you for your time.